Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most important tests for English learners around the world, IELTS. Whether you're planning to study abroad, migrate to a new country, or are just curious about your English skills, the IELTS test is your golden ticket. But what exactly is IELTS? And why is everyone talking about it? Well, sit tight because in the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down. We'll explore the test format, talk a little bit about the history of the test, how to register for the test, and also understand how the scores are calculated. So, if you're ready, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and press the bell icon so that you get notified as soon as I upload new videos for you. By the way, I am uploading amazingly interesting video lessons every week. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Rahil Zafar. I'm an English language teacher and an IELTS instructor. I've helped thousands of students get the desired band scores in IELTS in the last 8 years. And I'm here to help you achieve your dream score now. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So in the next few minutes, we'll cover up all the topics listed on the screen. We'll talk about what is IELTS, history of IELTS, then we'll look at different types of IELTS and which one you should take. We're also going to look at the IELTS test format. What's the total duration of the test, how many modules are there, etc. After that, we're going to understand how you are scored on the IELTS test. And then we'll move on to the registration process. And finally, I'm also going to answer some frequently asked questions by the end of this video. So let's begin with understanding what is IELTS. So IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. It is an English proficiency test that is developed and run by 3 organizations: the International Development Programme Australia, the British Council, and Cambridge Assessment English. Now, IELTS focuses on real-world communication skills, and because of its nature and exceptional features, it is the world's most popular English proficiency test for higher education and global immigration. Now, let's take a quick look at some interesting historical facts about the world's most popular English proficiency test. So the story goes back to 1965 when EPTB was launched. EPTB stands for English Proficiency Test Battery. Now, this test, after a couple of years, was replaced by another English proficiency test called IELTS. Now, this was a set of 6 modules which included life sciences, social studies, medicine, technology, etc. Now, because of the complexity of the test, it wasn't a huge success. So, in 1989, the British Council, the IDP, and Cambridge Assessment English came in collaboration to develop the IELTS test. So, in 1989, the IELTS test was launched. After a couple of years, there were some changes that came in the IELTS test pattern. These were not major changes though. Like in 1995, there was the first revision of the IELTS test, which again was only in the speaking module. Then in 2001, the number of tasks in the speaking module was reduced. And finally, in 2005, 2 major changes took place. First of all, the 4th criterion was included in the writing assessment. Now we have 4. Earlier they had 3. And the first computer-delivered test was launched. So this was a brief history of the IELTS test. So there are 2 types of IELTS tests: IELTS General and IELTS Academic. Now IELTS General is primarily taken by individuals who plan to migrate to an English-speaking country for work or immigration purposes. It assesses your listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills, but with a focus on everyday language and tasks. On the other hand, IELTS Academic is a test that is taken by individuals who plan to study in an English-speaking country. It also assesses your listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills, but with emphasis on academic language and tasks. So, please decide which test you are supposed to take before you register for the test. Now let's talk about the modes of delivery. So you can either take the pen and paper based IELTS test, or you can go for the computer based IELTS exam. Now when you go for the paper based IELTS test, you will be given a physical test booklet for your listening, reading, and writing modules, along with their answer sheets. And you can always ask for extra number of sheets from the invigilator. The speaking test is going to be conducted in person. And it will be conducted either 1 day or 2 days prior to your listening, reading, writing sections, or 1 or 2 days after it. The results for paper-based tests come after 13 working days. On the other hand, if you go for the computer-based exam, you will have to complete your listening, reading, and writing modules on a computer. The speaking test will be conducted in person. While there are differences in both these methods, the number of questions and the types of questions remain the same. Now, I've made a detailed video in which I've shared my experience of taking the computer-based IELTS exam. Computer-based IELTS exam. Right. I am going to drop in a link over here. You can watch this video later. I've also explained what are the major differences between both these methods. It's time to understand the format of the test. So the IELTS test is developed to test your receptive skills as well as your productive skills. It consists of 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, listening and reading are called receptive skills because here you receive information in the form of audio and text. On the other hand, writing and speaking are productive skills because here you produce information either in the written form or spoken form. And we're going to look at each module in detail in the next few minutes. Let's begin with the listening module. So be it your pen and paper based IELTS exam or your computer based IELTS test, you will always be provided with headphones to complete this part of the test. Now in the listening module, you're supposed to listen to some recordings which are played only once, and simultaneously you have to find out answers to the questions given to you in the question booklet or on the computer screen. Now if you go for the pen and paper based test, you have a little bit of advantage because you'll be given 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers from the question booklet to the answer sheet. However, on the computer based test, you'll only be given 2 minutes to revise and check your answers. Now, the listening module is going to be for 30 minutes and there are going to be 4 parts to it. And how many questions are you supposed to answer? You're supposed to answer 40 questions within those 30 minutes. And there are 10 different types of questions, which include your multiple choice question, your matching types of questions. We have some completion types of questions. For example, summary completion, note completion, flowchart completion, table completion, or diagram completion. Now let's understand the reading module. So the reading module is going to be for 60 minutes. Unlike your listening test where you get extra time, here you'll not be given even a single minute extra. So please make sure you transfer your answers within 60 minutes. Now, there are going to be 3 sections, be it your general training test or your academic test. Now, the number of passages differ when it comes to general and academic training. So in the general training test, you'll be given somewhere around 4 or maybe 5 passages, but in your academic test, you'll always be given 3 passages, which means 1 passage per section. There are 40 questions that need to be answered within 60 minutes. And time management is something that you should probably start working on if you're preparing for the IELTS test. And there are 14 different types of questions. We've got multiple choice questions, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given. We've got some completion types of questions and some matching types of questions as well. For example, matching headings, matching paragraph information, matching sentence endings, and there's one more, matching features, right? Matching features names and matching features dates. So yeah, please make sure you get used to all these types of questions. You practice each and every type of question and understand the steps and strategies for all of them. Because you never know what type of question you are going to be introduced to in your actual IELTS test. Now let's move to the writing and the speaking modules. So in your writing test, you'll be given 60 minutes to complete 2 tasks. Now task 1 is different for academic and general test takers. So if you're planning to take the academic test, you're supposed to write a report in at least 150 words on one of the followings. They can give you either a bar chart or a pie chart or line chart or table or maybe maps or process diagrams. On the other hand, if you're planning to take the general test, you're supposed to write a letter in task 1. This could be either a formal letter or an informal letter. Sticking to the word count is important. Failing to write at least 150 words will cost you marks. Now task 2 remains the same. You're supposed to write an essay in at least 250 words. Please remember, you'll be given both the questions together. You are supposed to manage your time wisely. It is recommended that you spend no more than 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. Alright, let's move to understanding the speaking module. So the speaking test is always going to be a face-to-face interaction with the examiner. This is going to be for 11 to 14 minutes and there are going to be 3 parts in it. Part 1, where the examiner is going to ask you some general topic questions, maybe about family, your work, if you study something, what are you doing currently? All these questions are going to be asked. It's like a general warm-up thing. Part 2 is where they're going to give you a cue card. So in this cue card, you'll be given a topic along with some questions. Now these questions will guide you to prepare your talk. You'll be given 1 minute to prepare notes and you're supposed to talk on the topic for 2 minutes. Part 3 is called the topic discussion, where you're going to be asked some questions related to the topic given to you in the cue card section. And the speaking test can either be conducted on the same day or 1 or 2 days before your listening, reading and writing, or 1 or 2 days after your listening, reading and writing in the paper-based method. Alright, so this was the test format. Please feel free to pause this video, revisit this video, or take screenshots for better understanding. So the IELTS pen and paper based test is conducted 48 times a year. And in India, they usually take the paper based test either on Thursdays or on Saturdays. And the computer delivered test is available to be taken almost every day of the week. Now, what's the eligibility criteria? Who can take this IELTS test? So anyone who is above 16 years of age can sit for the test. And for the registration process, you have to have a valid passport. So these are the two main eligibility criteria. Now let's understand how's the scoring done for the IELTS test. So you'll be given a score from 1 to 9 for each part of the test. That is listening, reading, writing and speaking. And this is going to be done on a band scale, where 9 means that you're an expert user of the language. And the overall score is going to be an average of all these 4 components. So you can either score a whole band, that is 5, 6, 7, or half bands, 5.5, 6.5 or 7.5. Now the final score that you're going to get is going to be rounded off to the nearest whole band or half band. For example, if a student scored 7.25, this will be rounded to 7.5. In case the student scored an average 7.15, it is going to be converted to 7 band. Now let's look at how to register for the IELTS exam. So the registration process is pretty simple and smooth. If you're taking the test in India, you need to go to IDP's official website and fill in some details. Let me show you how. So this is IDP's official website. Now you see this white box where it says register for your test? You need to select the test. Let's say I am going to select pen and paper based IELTS exam. And then they're going to ask you to select the test module. That means you can either take the academic test or general training. Let's assume that I'm a student and I want to study abroad. So I'm going to choose the academic test and then I'm going to select my city. Let's say Chandigarh, and then I'm going to click on book now. Now when you click on to book now, it is going to take you to this page where they're going to show you the test availability. Now a couple of minutes ago I mentioned that the paper-based test availability is either on Thursdays or on Saturdays. So you see over here, paper-based test written for June 2024. You've got 22 and 29th available. If I check July, we have got 11th, that's a Thursday, and then Saturdays we have got this test available. On the other hand, if you go for the computer delivered test, it's available almost all days of the week, leaving Wednesdays, right? Okay, now let's do one thing. I am going to register for, let's say, 6th of July, okay? Then I am going to go down over here and I'm going to click on to book now. So right now, the price is 17,000. Let's click on book now. Now this is going to take me to another page wherein I'm supposed to fill in some details. So these are your personal details that you're going to fill, like your name, your email, mobile address, your passport number, and then you need to proceed with this. So yeah, once you're done with this process, you will have to make the payment. You can make the payment either using your debit card, your credit card, and I think now you can also use UPIs. Right, so this is how you're going to register for your IELTS exam. This brings me to the final part of this video where I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions. But before we do that, if you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you get notified as soon as I upload new videos. I come up with super interesting lessons every week, so you don't want to miss out on that. Alright, let's answer the first question for you. For how long are the IELTS scores valid? Well, the scores are valid for 2 years. After that, you'll have to reappear for the test. Next one, how many times can I take the IELTS test? Well, you can literally take the test as many times as you want, but there's a condition. You need to wait for 2 to 3 days before you sit for the next IELTS test. What if I'm not happy with my result? Well, no problem. You can apply for a revaluation or a remark. Now, this is called inquiry on results. But there's a condition over here. The inquiry on results has to be applied for within 6 weeks of the test date. If you do it after that, they're not going to take your application into consideration. Also, there's a fee involved. And if your scores change, your fee is going to be refunded, like the whole amount. Alright, next one. Do I have to write in pencil for the paper-based test? Well, it is highly recommended that you use a pencil. Even I recommend my students to write in pencil. And there's a simple reason to it. So in your listening and your reading answer sheets, you've got limited space. So if you misspell a word and you don't want to make your answer sheets untidy, you can quickly erase what you've written in pencil and then write down the correct spelling. With pen, it's going to be a little untidy. Right, and then the last one. What can I take into the examination room? So you're only allowed to take pens, pencils and erasers, nothing else. You will be provided a locker where you're supposed to keep your belongings. For example, your smartwatch, your phones, your water bottles. In rare cases, they might allow you to take your water bottle inside. Otherwise, they're going to provide you with water in the test center, in the examination room itself. Alright guys, that's all for today in this video. If you enjoyed watching this, please give this video a thumbs up and I'm going to see you in the next video lesson soon. Also, if you want me to cover some specific topics, let me know in the comment section and I'll happily do that. And if you're planning to take the IELTS test and you're looking for some professional guidance, you can contact me on the number given below on WhatsApp and I'll share the details of my course over there. Alright, see you in the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep smiling. Bye-bye.